Jorge, are you ready for the news?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. It's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. They know mortgages like nobody knows mortgages. And a lot of times people, when they hear us talk about Eagle Mortgage, say, okay, what's this thing, Eagle Mortgage Brokerage? They're a mortgage broker. Why do I go to a mortgage broker instead of just going to my local bank? Well, on average, mortgage brokers save homeowners $9,000 over the life of a loan compared to retail lenders or banks. In fact, in 2021, the average borrower savings was $9,407 between upfront cost savings and interest savings. So you get a better deal if you go through a company like Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. All right, Jorge, we've got some projects that made it through City Council approval this week. The first one is a 5-story building planned for the southeast corner of 48th and Dodge. This thing's huge, 329 apartments. And what's cool about it is it's another density project along the Orbit line.
That's an incredible project. I know it's been many, many years in the making in terms of acquiring pieces, and it's finally come all together. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, and that will also include the historic Pittman building at 4629 Dodge Street. It will be integrated into the building. The other couple of commercial buildings around that will be removed, including, thank God, a former gas station right there in the corner, which is just a terrible eyesore.
Yeah, no, they chose to keep the coolest building, and that building will be the leasing office of the apartment, I understand. And it's kind of right at the corner, so it's great that they're keeping that. It's a cool mid-century building.
Agreed. Now, if we go up to North Omaha, we can talk about a project at 30th and Bristol Street. It's going to be called Kennedy Square East. It won approval this week from the City Council. Plans call for mixed-income apartments in a 4-story building to be constructed on a 6-acre site. The cool thing about this, Jorge, is it replaces an old public housing complex.
This is one of 2 complexes that we are getting rid of in the very near future in Omaha, and it's a good step forward toward, that next step of affordability and mixed income communities. So this, alongside with Southside Terrace in South Omaha, and we got some good news about that, some good money coming towards that project to renovate and, demolish and then build new mixed-use income communities. So those are 2 of the probably worst properties in Omaha. So I'm glad to see them sort of being, upgraded and enhanced.
Huge progress for our city to get rid of problematic complexes that have not only outlived their usefulness, but probably were problematic from the moment they build them, and do something that is so much better and will provide such higher quality housing for Omaha. It's pretty cool stuff. Hey, if we go out to Gretna, a lot of people have been asking us over the last month. I mean, we probably get a good 5 emails a week from people saying, what are they doing south of Nebraska Crossing? They're moving all this dirt around there. Well, that big project is called Gretna Logistics Park. It's going to be 170 acres, an industrial development. And the first building will be about 400,000 square feet. It'll be a speculative warehouse, meaning that being built without guaranteed tenants, no problem, because they'll get them fast.
Yeah. It's amazing how these large warehouse spaces get, just snatched up quick before they even hit the market sometimes.
Oh, it's insane. And it used to be that, if you built a 150, 300,000 square foot industrial building in Omaha on a spec basis, you were crazy. Now you're just putting inventory on the shelves, which people are going to grab.
Now those are just the office guys.
Those are the office guys.
Sorry.
He said it, not me. The second building that will be built out at Gretna will be 300,000 square feet. There's room for a few more. So altogether, there'll probably be a few million square feet of warehouse space there. So again, that's south of Nebraska Crossing, west of the Flying J truck stop at the Interstate 80 Highway 31 interchange. Also, Jorge, Opus is building what to me looks like it's got to be 250,000, 300,000 square foot warehouse in Council Bluffs, right along the river. It's just a little bit north of Interstate 80, east of Interstate 29, and south of Ameristar Casino. So that's just been an empty, flat space there forever, and all of a sudden, boom, 300,000 square foot warehouse going in there.
That's amazing. I'm going to go look at that. I have to go to Council Bluffs after this, actually, to look at another warehouse.
Another warehouse.
Yeah. So.
And they fill them all up. The NAI NP Dodge and commercial real estate report for the third quarter will be coming out this week. And it'll tell you, because I worked on it, the industrial vacancy for the third quarter is like 2.7, 2.8%. That's
amazing. So I actually ended up seeing some other reports from different sources this week and talking to some direct brokers, industrial brokers, and they say it's closer to 2.
Really?
Potentially. So we've got multiple reports here saying we're in the 2s, low 2s, maybe even under that, which is unprecedented.
And it's kind of dangerous from an economic development perspective, because so often companies will, contact commercial real estate firms, or they'll contact the economic development officials at the chamber and say, we'd love to come to your city. We want 250,000 square feet and we want to, start occupying it next quarter. Well, that's been almost impossible in our area.
We better get those people a list of all the new projects so they know what to talk about instead of the, bleak vacancy rate that we have.
We need to keep building, that's for sure. We need to keep building. All right, let's go back downtown. The city council approved tax increment financing for a 111-year-old building known as the Key Line Building, the 319 South 17th Street. Jorge, that building, really cool building when you look at it from the outside. Classic downtown building, office
Definitely.
Upstairs, retail ground floor.
Just been needing a little refresh for a long time. That's the one with the Takeshi jewelry store at the bottom and the back line, which is a great kind of underground comedy club.
I've never been there, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun place. So yeah, I'm excited to see what it's Mike Moylan, I believe, doing that project. Yeah,
Shamrock Development.
Excited to see what they do with that. So.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Shamrock Development did the Capitol District. They did the Paxton Building, several other projects. So they'll do a good job with it. We have more demolition progress at the W. Dale Clark Library. Now, if you go by it, you won't see a ton because. They're doing internal demolition. They have to kind of recycle a lot of the metal that's in there. But I walked by on one of my Gromaha tours earlier in the week, and through the windows you could see debris falling through an internal hole from floor to floor. So they're getting it started.
Well, that's great. I noticed that the lot to the east of it is empty. So they haven't used that. I guess they're going to use that for lay down space and for material and vehicles and parking.
Construction worker parking right now. That I've noticed when I was down there during the work day this week, there were all sorts of cars for the people working on the site.
We've made it a kind of a habit to get out to the park every Friday when we pick the kids up from daycare, and it's pretty clean and everything. I wonder what it's going to be like when they finally start taking that building down,
A little dusty. You might have a little bit of a dust problem. Well, regular listeners know that Jorge is a member of the Omaha Planning Board. So we're going to talk about a couple of projects that went through Planning Board this week. The first one is at 30th and Leavenworth. It's directly south of the Triangle Apartments. Going to be an $18.1 million project. 4-story building, 73 market rate apartment units, 51 indoor parking stalls, studio 1, 2, 3 bedroom units. Going to begin construction next April and complete by July of 2024. Jorge, this is an infill spot that we've needed because except for one little building, it's mostly just empty.
It's been vacant. It's been a blighted area in the neighborhood for quite a while. There's an existing tattoo shop. They've actually already relocated, so the building's vacant. This is the time to do it. I'm glad to see that they actually got some underground parking, that the numbers worked for that, because that's been very difficult to obtain as of late. So it's a good project for that area, and it's not displacing anybody, which is great.
And creating a lot of nice density in the neighborhood, which already has pretty good density and a lot of newly renovated and constructed buildings. Any other projects on the planning board that you want to highlight this week, Jorge?
I was still seeing a fair amount of subdivisions getting through. So new construction, new home construction, and maybe our guest Jill can talk a little bit about that later, but it seems like we're still getting new homes built and planned for the future, which is good for Omaha, especially with the recent news. and all the fluctuations, you wonder how long that's going to last. But it's good to see that we still have healthy single-family construction, and that they're not all being bought to rent by big, large corporations. So,
which is common these days.
Which is common. So let's keep that going. And a lot of them are local people, which is great too. But yeah, no, we've got a little project on North 24th that I think is pretty fun. It's a mixed-use building. I believe they're going to do a communal kitchen and a food concept on the first floor. 3 apartments upstairs. It's an old building, so it's getting renovated. I think it's just a great example of sort of the public-private partnership that we've got going on North 24th Street with the Forever North project and some of the other, focused development programs that are happening out there. And it's just, the local community being able to sort of put a project together that renovates a existing, historic building with new units that are affordable and some commerce. So I hope we can replicate that a lot. And, props to everybody for being able to put that together.
And that is your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport Street. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.